So today we're going to start function notation and evaluating functions. Your objective is that you will be able to evaluate functions when given an input. So equations that represent functions are written in function notation. Function notation is the same exact thing as an equation, but instead of y equals, we have f of x equals 4x minus 1. This is useful because we're going to be asked, like, what is f of 5? And then you're going to plug that 5 in wherever you see an x. So, for example, skip a slide here, f of x equals negative 4x plus 8. We're told that we want to know f of negative 2. So f of negative 2, we're going to plug in negative 2 for our x, and then simplify it using order of operations, just like when we were plugging in like domains or inputs to our equations to find the outputs. So we have negative 4 times negative 2 plus 8. So we do negative 4 times negative 2 gives us positive 8 plus 8. And 8 plus 8 means that f of negative 2 equals 16. So again, this negative 2, this x is our input, and then 16, or f of x, is our output. Now it could go in the different direction. You could be given f of x equals negative x plus 6, but now instead of saying like find f of 1, we're told that f of x equals 12. So now we want to know what value of x we would plug in to find 12. So this is similar to when you were finding your zeros or x-intercepts. You're going to set it equal to 12. So 12 is f of x, so you're replacing that with this 12, equals negative x plus 6. So now you just solve the equation, just like when this was equal to 0. So we're going to subtract 6. So 6 is negative x. But we want that to be a positive x, so we're going to divide by negative 1. So x equals negative 6. So that means that f of negative 6 equals 12. And you could check that by plugging in negative 6 for x and solving to see if you get 12. Lastly, you can find these values by just looking at a graph too. So it might say, what is f of 2? And we have this graph down here. You're going to go to 2 on the x-axis and look up and down to see where it's at. The point is right here. So we look at its y value. So f of 2 equals 1. If we're asked what's f of 6, we go to 6, follow it to where the graph is, and look at what that y value is. In this case, it's negative 1. So right here, f of 4 would give us negative 3. F of 8 would give us positive 1. So it's just looking at the graph and seeing what y value it matches up to at that point. So now we're going to be practicing this in class tomorrow. So come to class with any questions you have.